What's going on, guys? Tanner here with Five for Football. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got a lot to cover. Going to be going over the Green Bay Packers and the Cincinnati Bengals game. It was ugly, but it was a win for the Packers. So here we go. So it wasn't really the best win, but it was a win. Nonetheless, it was a win. So we're going to be pulling up some stats, deep diving into everything, and really just kind of seeing what happened here tonight with the Green Bay Packers and and the Cincinnati Bengals. I predicted that we'd probably get carved up by a certain somebody named Joe Flacco, and I was kind of right. We almost did get carved up by him. We kind of did. Not almost, but we did. We're going to go ahead and just deep dive into that. So we're going to go over to the desktop so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Give me one sec. There it is. So now you can see we won 27-18, but not everything was super pretty. We outscored them 10-7 in the first half. Sorry, 10-0 in the first half. And then they scored 7 points and then 11 points. And we didn't score all of the third quarter, and we ended up scoring 17 points in the fourth quarter. It's just typical Matt LaFleur offense, completely inconsistent. Anytime we get someone hot, he strays away from that person. It just doesn't make sense. It really, really doesn't. But Matthew Golden did he had a good game. He had, I think, 4 catches, and we're going to go into that as well. Just the inconsistency. Watching the Packers is like a roller coaster. Their defense took a hit on the pass rush. I think Luke Van Ness left with like an air cast on his left leg, or so we're just gonna have to really look at that. He had his first sack of the season today, but he did end up leaving. He's still very, very good in the pass rush, despite only having 1 sack. Micah Parsons was still all over the field and just took up a lot of attention for sure. Just going over the stats, Jordan Love had an ugly interception, 19 for 26, 259 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Honestly, he's not playing that MVP level that we want him to be playing at, so it's kind of a concern. His play is kind of a concern for me, but also so is the play calling. It's just not what you want to see from the Green Bay Packers. Like the wins we're getting right now are ugly. The tie we had was ugly, and the win today was ugly. It's just like I said, a roller coaster. Josh Jacobs was phenomenal today. 18 carries for 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. Matthew Golden, he ended up with 3 catches for 86 yards. I want to say he had more targets than that. He had like 4 or 5 targets. But we ended up Lucas Havrisik. He did fine, with Brandon McManus being away. We got some field goals and everything. But Joe Flacco, man, let's look at what he did. 219 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions against us, against our secondary. 45 pass attempts for a guy that signed 5 days ago. You guys really just think about that for a second. A guy that signed 5 days ago, not signed, was traded for 5 days ago, and who has been turnover prone for the last several years of his career. 45 pass attempts, 29 completions, 219 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions, no turnovers. And Ja'Marr Chase, he went straight to Ja'Marr Chase. 10 catches, 94 yards, and a touchdown. Valentine had some good plays, and then he had some really not good plays. The only consistent piece we had was Keyshawn Nixon. He played decent, honestly. Nate Hobbs still kind of just not good. He just stood there and just gave separation, and then someone would catch the ball, and then he would try to tackle. That's really all he did. He was just a body on the field. Nate Hobbs, I think we signed him to a 4-year deal, and he's just not looking very strong. I don't know. I'm just not big on Nate Hobbs. I thought it was a good signing, but we did overpay for him, and now we're seeing why it was an overpay. Our secondary depth needs help bad. If Nate Hobbs goes down again, we just need help in the secondary. Like it's clear as day. I think we've been really, really lucky, but letting Ja'Marr Chase, 10 catches, 94 yards and a score. Joe Flacco. I mean, it's just, there's obvious things that are wrong, right? Obvious things. And you can jump back into here. You can see more player stats. Like we said, Ja'Marr Chase had 10 catches. T. Higgins had 5 for 62. Noah Fant 4 for 27. Tanner Hudson had 4 for 10 and a score. So they were effective passing the ball. Like I said, we had a couple nice pass breakups, but it wasn't impressive. Geno Stone had that sack and interception. He had a really, really good game. 3 tackles as well for him. So, I don't know. Trey Hendrickson did end up leaving with a back injury. He was questionable to return, but he only had two assists before he left the game. So honestly, not a great game for him. We're going to go up and look at the Packers here. Get some more stats for more players. Jordan Love did rush when he needed to. He did end up sliding. Right before the 2-minute warning, he slid like 2 yards short of a first down. You got to pick up that first. He had room to pick up the first and didn't do it. And I believe we ended up giving the ball back. I want to make sure we did. But Josh Jacobs also had 5 catches for 57 yards. Romeo Doubs, 5 catches for 55 yards. Tucker Kraft only had 2 catches. We got to get Tucker Kraft more involved. It is so imperative. And when he does catch the ball, he's great. He had 2 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. 21.5 yards per catch that game. You got to get him more involved in the passing game. For some reason, Matt LaFleur strays away from targets that work. When Jaden Reed was good last year, or was it 2023 at this point? When he was good, he stopped riding the hot hand straight away. Now he's out for the year, but, you know, it's like, I don't know. The only consistent piece I think we've had for the last 2 years has been Josh Jacobs. Feeding him. And then sometimes Matt LaFleur even goes away from feeding him and just sporadically has these really hot, cold drives of offense where you don't do anything. The defense struggled. Pass rush wasn't too great. It didn't force any turnovers. Edgerrin Cooper, great game, 4 tackles, 7 assists. Ray Walker, 4 for 4. Bullard, 4 and 2. Keyshawn Nixon, no sacks, no NTs, but he did have 4 tackles, 2 assists. Evan Williams, kind of mediocre. Nate Hobbs only had 2 tackles and 1 assist. Really did nothing all game. You'd have to take a look at like how many targets he had against him. Corrington Valentine also only 2 tackles, no assists, no interception. This doesn't show like pass breakups or anything. I'm sure we can find some more stats on that though. Honestly, sadly, it's not even updated yet on Pro Football Reference, the stats for tonight's game. But you can look at the stats heading into the game. Green Bay was 2-0 at home. They were 0-1-1 on the road. And they're scoring 26 points per game, which was 9th in the NFL heading into this game. You got to remember, this is heading into the game. Points scored per game for the Bengals was 17. That's 29th in the league. Obviously, this is without Joe Burrow. Points allowed per game. They have the 3rd worst defense in the league. You got 32nd ranked, 31st ranked, and then the 30th ranked. They're the 3rd worst defense in the league, allowing 31.2 points per game. We didn't even get close to that. Well, kind of. I think we got, 27 points? It was 27-18. But still, it's not like, I don't know. Like, we didn't play. It didn't feel like we played to scoring 27, 28 points. Like, it didn't feel anywhere close to that. Passing yards per game, we're 11th in the league. Rushing yards per game, we're 18th in the league. We got to get Josh Jacobs rolling. Keep feeding him. Rushing yards per game, the Bengals are dead last. 57 yards per game rushing. Then you're going to look at the defensive passing yards per game. They're allowing 259 yards, and we're allowing 205, which is 11th best or 11th, or however you could see it as like 17th worst or something, whatever it would equal. And I think our secondary is overplaying. I've said it before again and again. I think the Packers secondary overplays for the depth that we have on paper. Like, looking at our team on paper, we have overplayed. And thankfully, it's Jeff Hafley's team. And he's been doing phenomenal. Rushing yards per game, we're the second best in the league, allowing only 77, and they're allowing 132 yards per game. Explaining why Josh Jacobs did how many yards did I say he had? 94 players, games. All right, hang on. We're gonna have to click here, and then you can go to game leaders. Yeah, 93 yards on the ground makes sense. It makes sense to continue to feed him on a game. Like, all you got to do is literally Google things before you. I'm not a head coach, never been a head coach, never coached, but like sometimes all you got to do is look at the stats when you know you're going against a team that's literally 24th ranked in the league with with rushing yards. You got to know you got a decent chance to have a good game on the ground. When they're 29th in the league on passing defense, you gotta know you got a good chance passing the ball. Get your receivers more involved. Get your receivers more involved. It's crazy to see that our leading receiver by yards was Matthew Golden with 3 catches for 86. 86 yards is a good game. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes spreading the ball around too much can be a problem. You need a wide receiver. Jamar Chase, 10 catches, 94 yards, and a score. It's insane stats, dude. It's frustrating for any fantasy owners, too. I got Matthew Golden on the bench. He would have had 11 points PPR. But Packers offense, bro, is just so up and down. Even when Aaron Rodgers was here, even when Aaron Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs with Nathaniel Hackett as the offensive coordinator, it was hot, cold, hot, cold. Like, you could score on 4 consecutive drives, shut down for the rest of the game, and then not score again until the game-winning drive. You know, like, it's just Matt LaFleur is so inconsistent. If something's not broken, he doesn't keep using it. Like they say, don't fix what isn't broken. Well, he'll try to fix everything that's not broken. And that's just a consistent issue he's always had. But if you look at the stats, we did still kind of dominate. Not passing, though. Like I said, we let Joe Flacco carve us up. And that should not slide by. Joe Flacco is a 40-year-old quarterback. He's good. He's been good for his entire career. That's why he's in the NFL. But our secondary needs help. And we cannot let this slide by. 213 yards passing. 2 scores, no turnovers. Just saying. Rushing yards, we had 153 total yards. They only had 55. So we did good on the ground. Yards per play, 6.8 compared to their 4.3. We've been doing good. If key things for the Green Bay Packers. Key things for the Green Bay Packers. Continue to run the ball. Don't stray away from Josh Jacobs. Been doing great, Matt LaFleur. Get Tucker Kraft more involved. Right? Take shots down the field. Matthew Golden. Oh, and protect Jordan Love. You could do 4 things. Do that. That's just offense. Moving to defense. I can't really just be like, hey, sign another cornerback. No. Stop playing so much cushion. Play more man-to-man, not zone. I still feel like we're letting guys separate on the secondary. It's just a problem. Lucas Van Ness, injured, likely going to be out. So we got to find a way to continue to rush the quarterback. We got to look into that. We're still not getting enough pass rush. Micah Parsons has he recorded any sacks for us? Like, I know he has, but well, let's deep dive. Hang on. Yeah, so far through 4 games on here because it's not updated. 2.5 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 8 quarterback hits. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's been all over the field. But we got to find something to really complement him to let him get more open to attacking the quarterback. We still got to work on our pass rush, work on our secondary. I would say involvement, depth is a problem back there. It's just going to be a problem. Nate Hobbs is not the answer. He's not playing good. So I really hope Nate Hobbs can turn it around. Like, he's not terrible. He's been a good player before. We've seen him play good with the Raiders. But he had trouble staying healthy. And I don't know. Just isn't looking good. Jordan Love's still a wild card sometimes. Jordan Love is still a wild card. He'll just randomly throw a crazy bad interception. So let's narrow this down to 3 takeaways. 3 things to improve on for next week. Or 3 things to stick to. Stick to running the ball, Josh Jacobs. Get Tucker Kraft more involved, Matt LaFleur. More involved. Get him more involved. It's not hard. He's got the separation. He gets open. Jordan Love has just got to work on his reads a little bit more, I think. So we've got, what did I say? Run the ball, Tucker Kraft, pass rush. Work on the pass rush. We got to have pass rush. Our secondary, well, we're used to be eaten alive anyways from years prior. So secondary is just going to do what it can do. And then we got to continue that pass rush, replace what we might be losing with Lucas Van Ness. Get some help for Micah Parsons. Imagine if we didn't have him. Rashawn Gary can be really great, but he's got to play even better. We really need him to play. Tell me what your thoughts are, guys. I just kind of go off of instinct. I say things by the gut. Not always statistically right or correct, but just tell me what you guys think down below. If you're a Green Bay Packers fan, those are the three takeaways that I would have. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're a Green Bay Packers fan, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave your comments, argue with me if you want. And if you just enjoyed the NFL overall, make sure you smash that subscribe button, especially if you lasted this. If you watched me ramble or listened to me ramble for this long, may as well just subscribe. All right, see you guys later. Seriously, see ya.